welcome to the streamer fail. I'm just gonna do the link thing. Da, 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 da. Oh. Hi, Cactus. None of this first business. I was here first. You don't get first. That's me. Hello, welcome to the stream fail. You have indeed arrived. No one but me was here first. Thank you. Oh man, it is pouring down with rain outside, and I've literally just come in, and I am, as you can see, very freaking soaked. I don't have a jacket, so that's fun. No, I was here first. Let's start this with me. Alright, so yeah, I just wanted to make a video to just like kind of collect what's happened into one place and sort out that, and that everyone knows where I am, what is going on. I'm second then. Fine, but like, this isn't a race. It's a live stream. Hi Decadora, and welcome to the stream fail. So, yes. Things. A lot of things have happened. Firstly, I'll just do today, because today I had my stitches out for my surgery. I'm not going to take it off because this still looks a bit gross and people might be squeamish, I don't know. I had my implant taken out, so the implant is to stop me getting preggers, but while it's doing that, it's messing with my hormones, and I've had, you can have the implant in for 3 years, and then you can replace it, and that's what I did. I've had that implant in, not that specific one, but I had 2 implants in, which means I had 6 years of implants messing with my hormones, because that's what that does. And I'm not trying to say this to like scare anyone off contraception. Contraception is super important, and even though I am off the implant, me and Skip are not planning on having kids. Let me just put that out there straight away. No. Skip's gonna do something rather than my hormones getting messed with, because they've been messed with enough, and it's his turn now. Haha. So, so there's that. The implant itself, there's been quite a few cases where it, if it doesn't cause depression, it's very likely to not help, and make things a lot worse. And honestly, hands down, since I've had it out, which was last week, I almost instantly, like the next few days, saw like an uplift in my mentality and everything, and I feel so much like myself more. Hi Phytex, and welcome to the streamer fail. And just feel generally happy, and I'm doing things that I haven't done in ages, like roleplay. It feels so good to roleplay again. And yeah, I just feel great. It's fantastic. Everything Gucci. Everything is Gucci right now. So yeah, so before then, I'm not sure if I gave you guys an update of what happened with my MRI test. I had an MRI scan of my brain, which turned out that there was something there, and I got sent to a few different doctors, and luckily they found out that it's nothing to worry about. It's just a black spot on my brain, which they might not worry about it, but whoo, okay. But yeah, but that's all clear and stuff. They don't think it's anything dangerous or anything like that, so that's great. And before I had my implant out, and before I knew that that was okay, I had a frick ton of stress build up, and have been very quick to, I don't want to use the word trigger, but it kind of is like that, very quick to fire at people. Black hole taking away the memories. Well, the funny thing is, it's on the short-term memory part of my brain. So yeah, it's literally a black hole taking away my memories. So yeah, so hand on heart, like, I have been and have acted very, very sharp to people. And some of you may or may not know, but hi Cerise, and welcome to the Stream of Fail. Me and Sai had a massive falling out, which started off really small, or at least from my perspective started off really small, and then kind of exploded into a whole mess of miscommunication, and he said, she said, and people misinterpreting, and then telling that misinterpreting to the other person, which just made things so much worse, in every retrospect. Now, like, just, I have to say, I've had to say this so many times now within the last few months. When I talk about my feelings and when I complain about maybe the way someone has reacted and things, that by no means gives you or anyone freaking permission to go to that person, because the majority of the time, especially everything that I've told to you, especially in the special part of my chat, which is mental health challenge beans, that is private. That, and whatever's said in that chat stays in that chat. That's not used for fuel to go spark a fire somewhere. That's not used to guilt trip someone. That's not used for anything. It doesn't exist. Whatever happens in that chat doesn't exist. It is like simply for the reason to get out things that no one has control over. You don't have control over the way you feel. I certainly did not and still don't have control over the way I feel. It's not something that you can switch on and off for most people. And yeah, so there was a lot of things that did not help. And first of all, the big thing that didn't help was frickin' me. So I wanted to just break down what happened, but from a logical perspective, and for like heaven's sake, or for anyone's sake, just do not take what I say and parts of what I say. I don't feel like I shouldn't need to say this, and package them on to someone else. Don't package it on to Sai. Sai doesn't want to freaking know. I don't want to know what Sai is doing or if Sai is talking about me. We are not friends, no longer. It's not that I don't care. It's just to know causes me stress, and for him, it certainly causes him stress. So let's just not. And I should always be able, and same with anyone, should always be able to speak their mind and say how they feel and how they've interpreted events and such without anything occurring after. So I should be able to say, so-and-so has hurt me, and for the person that is listening to me to not instantly grab a pitchfork and a torch and try and set some peeps on fire. Just no. So now that I've said that, now that I've said that, I'm very much hoping that that people don't make a drama out of this. That's not what this video is for. It's for an update, it's for getting my own thoughts in order, in a place, and so that everyone else knows where I stand with what had happened and where I stand now from what had happened. Calm down, Sashy. I'm calm. I need a drink though. Yeah. So yeah. So that out the way, I really, 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 really hope that you guys listen and not act. Or at the very least, if you feel like acting, talk to me and I'll talk you out of it. Like really easily. I'll just be like, do not do the thing that you want to do. Don't do stuff, especially behind my back. That's not cool. Alright, anyway. So what had happened is there's a tournament on Sai's server. Results happen for the tournament, and I very much fucking dickishly, I bitched in my team chat, do not do the me. Yeah. Very much absolutely out of order bitched in my chat about someone else that, for me, from my perspective, was making a pity party all about them. And there was things that went on in the tournament that I found unfair. Now, when you find something that's unfair, here is a life lesson. Do not start your argument with insults. And I should know this, and I should know better. And I even had like that small voice. You know when you have that small voice inside you going, you're not gonna want to do it. You're gonna regret doing this later. Listen to the voice. The voice knows best. But yeah, I started my disagreements with insults. It's not really insults, it was more just snarky, unnecessary bitchiness. And it wasn't even said to the person that I wanted it to be said to at the time when I said it, which is even worse because I am not that person. I'm very much figure if I think that you're doing a pity party, I will fucking call you out on it, to your face or in DMs. Warning: if you're gonna be my friend, you're gonna get called out for bullshit. When I think you're doing it. So yeah, so that firstly, like, my actions were completely out of order. But for some reason, miscommunication happened, and people didn't, or Sai specifically didn't think that I was going to back down from my point of view, and had felt that he'd already given me his point of view, and that I wasn't taking it on board. And just ended up leaving the server even after I'd stopped when he said that he was tired and didn't want to do it. No one thought that I would stop, even though I did. The problem is with these things as well, is that things move on so quickly that you don't know what's happening behind the screen, so they would have no idea. Hi, Meatball Spaghetti, and welcome to the Stream of Fail. So they would have no idea whether I would stop or not, and that's fair to them, but the way they handle me after, thinking that I'm not going to stop and drop it, the way they handled that was very, very bad. So, Sai leaving his own server puts Lawless in charge, and Loli and Zelda instantly jump on to me and bring up the whole argument again, which for me signals that people are open for more discussion and debate, because discussion and debates are needed, especially if you've got two opposing opinions, and it shouldn't go to insults. So by this point, my insults stopped as soon as I said the first two, which wasn't even insults, they were just, oh, cry me a river, and the world's smallest violin is playing, in a sense of they wanted me to have sympathy for people that I didn't have sympathy for, because for me, everyone was in the same boat, and therefore treating someone specially is not fair on anyone else in that situation. But it's regardless. So I'd stopped, and I was more in discussion Sashy mode by that point. They, for some reason, did not get that, and just instantly went in with insults and contradictions, like firstly saying that it's only fair that these people had been given the advantage that they've been given, and then in the same breath saying life's not fair and I should just get over it. Now, what people don't seem to realize, and like these people should know, but they didn't and still don't from their actions, I don't tell people my opinion to change your opinion. Never once have I told someone my opinion in hopes to change it, even if I think their opinion is wrong. Like, I tell my opinion because I want you to consider it, and I want you to take it on board in the sense that even if you don't agree with it, you can acknowledge that that opinion is an opinion and it's valid as an opinion. So, for some reason, certain people take me doing that and defending my opinion as me wanting to start an argument and argue rather than debate. And debating and arguing are two very different things. If you are insulting each other, that is an argument. If you are providing different points of view and not insulting each other, you are debating. So, yeah. So they were insulting me and just would not drop it. So, if our situations were reversed, and I was stuck with someone that would not take no for an answer and just drop something, I would take that person into DMs. I would be like, either this conversation stops here, or we can talk about it in DMs. Like, if I have something to say to them, which these girls clearly did have something to say to me, it would be a case of, okay, no more chatting in a general chat, let's take this to DMs, start a group DM and have a discussion about this. This did not happen at all. Instead, after bombarding me with message after message in a general chat, they muted me from the whole chat because I wouldn't drop it. Wrong way of dealing with it, but even if you thought I wasn't gonna stop, there was no warning, there was no dudes, let's quit this, it's getting too far. There was nothing. There was just, oh, I don't like what you're saying, and I've insulted you several times and you've not changed your opinion. You're now muted. And that's kind of what happened. Well, that's exactly what happened. And that, just made me angry, because at that point I thought that we were debating, even though that they were adding in insults here and there. There was still some form of debate going on that could be just a debate rather than an argument. Apparently I was the only one to think that. Oh well, miscommunications happen. So after then, I go to Sai and explain to him what happened, and that is unfair, that I just got muted for just having my opinion. But what Sai sees me getting muted for is different to what I see me getting muted for, which is one of the first, she's like the second miscommunication that happened. Now, originally when I said things like, they can cry me a river and stuff, Sai for some reason thought I meant him, rather than the person that I was actually talking about, which was having a pity party in a different chat. Which was completely wrong of me, still. So for them, my muting was because I'd said that at the very start of the discussion. And they ignored everything else I said. This is a classic example of why you don't start arguments with any sort of sarcasm. Because anything you say after that point becomes null and void to those people. And this is a classic example of it. I started my conversation, "Hi Bren, and welcome to the Stream of Fail. You just woke up. Nice." So yeah, this is a classic example of what happens when you say something sarcastic in a sarcastic tone. It's even worse with text. So much worse with text. Because there's so much that you're missing. Most of our communication is done through body language. So, as well as your voice. Your voice is the second most. So, with text, you take away your voice, you take away your body language. People will just read the text as they perceive it in their head, and this is why I hate, with a passion, fiery passions of burning hell, having arguments over text, or doing apologies over text, because the tone is lost, the meaning is lost, and it's only read in one way, especially if a person doesn't read that text in any other way to try and figure out what the meaning actually is for that. So, BRB. Okie dokes. I'm gonna have it's gonna be a lot of talking in this. So yeah, classic example of why you don't start your arguments with sarcasm or bitchiness, because it doesn't matter what you say. You could say like the most obvious thing after, and people will still disagree with you because of the way you started the conversation, which is not how life should work, but that's how life works. So, they were still angry at the fact that I'd started the conversation with being snarky, and that is the reason that they gave to me of why I was muted. For me, but they didn't tell me that. That's the next thing. They didn't tell me that. But that was their reasoning for it, or at least the most thing that I could gather from what other people have said. Hi back. I'm Sashy. So yeah. Where was I? Yeah, so misunderstandings. Yeah, welcome back to the Stream of Fail. Yeah, so just don't do that. If you want to have an actual debate with someone, and I know this, and I even have the little voice in your head that says, don't do this, and I still did it, because I am headstrong, and I'm very, like I said, I was very quick to light up. Peasant. Because of all the other stress that I had on me, had the MRI scan, I didn't know that, that like I was highly suspicious that I might have a brain tumor or something like that, and that was super stressful. Water, yes, I have water, because I'm on a diet, trying to be, yes. I got hot cocoa. They can have hot cocoa in the summer, if that's what they want. Cola does have a lot of sugar in it. Okay. Alright, so yeah. So yeah, it actually didn't matter what I said. Whatever I'd said, even during the DM to Sai after I got not blocked, but muted on the server, it didn't matter because he wasn't reading in the way that I was saying it, because text is really bad for communication. Really bad. Yeah. So Sai then says in that conversation, because he's still reading it in the sort of snarky way that I'd started the argument on his chat, he says very, very taxes or texts? Texts, not taxes. Taxes fine, I guess. Yeah, texts. Fuck. Texts are awful. If you're texting, you're not gonna get through what you say in the way you want to say it. Especially when you're doing arguments or disagreements with people. So yeah, he was still reading what I was saying in that kind of bitchy tone, which led him to say things that kind of break me. And I'm pretty sure he knew full well at the time that that's what he was saying, and his desired outcome of that was for me to just drop everything and just leave it and move on. But had kind of not really the opposite effect, sort of worked. But I continued the conversation regardless because I knew that he wasn't. Sashy, texts are awful. Also, Sashy owns a Discord server with many text channels. Yes, but like half of them are picture channels. Then we have a few roleplay channels. Then we have text for voice call. So I can't talk all the time. Like, it's straining. Texting is the next best thing to voice calling. It's still awful as a form of communication though. But it's quick and it's easy to misinterpret and blah blah blah. But yeah. So because I knew that he wasn't understanding the way that I was talking, I continued the conversation, much to his annoyance. And yeah, he says very, very much not nice things to me. And it's something that for, I think, most other people, they wouldn't really care about. But for me, I care hell of a lot. You can't talk like this. Yeah, that's fair. So yeah. So he's continuously said, even now, that he doesn't know why I'm upset. I am unsure about whether I would actually believe him or not, because he should know. But yeah, I'm not going to go into what he said and stuff, but for me, it was basically a stab to the face. But even so, I still pushed on and just wanted to kind of be heard and explain why I said things were unfair, and that it's not actually a big deal me saying things are unfair, and I didn't want it to turn into an argument and so on. And we sort of come to like what I thought was a resolution. She wasn't supposed to drama. I'm not dramaing. Not dramaing. I'm just explaining my side. It's not dramaing. I don't know. This is the thing. I don't know, and no one knows apart from Sai. Only Sai knows whether Sai has told the truth or not, with whether he knew what he said had hurt me. The only person that knows that is Sai. I don't care how close a friend you are to Sai, and he's told you something. The only person that knows is Sai. The same as the only person that knows how much what I did hurt him is Sai. No one else. No amount of talking to someone about how you feel, no amount of trying to have an understanding with someone will actually make someone know how you felt about what happened. But it does help get it off your chest, which is why you do it, and why communicating is something that needs to happen a lot more. So yeah, but I can't say. I'm not gonna call him a liar. I just don't. I don't actually care at this point whether he knows or not. The fact of the matter is he did hurt me with his words. Every team has its side of history. Only one that knows is inside the team. Yeah, exactly. So I can't say what he was thinking. I can't say what he was talking about to other people. I can only go off what I've seen and what I've seen him do before. The conversations that we've had before. So I'm not gonna say that he's lying and doesn't know that actually hurt me a fuck ton. Basically what mattered is that he did hurt me with that. But even that, I still had forgiven him for when we'd talked it, when we'd seemed, from at least my perspective, to talk it through. And up until a point where he just tells me that he just wants to be left alone. And there's another miscommunication, because I took that very personally, because he'd never spoken to me like that before, in the tone that I was reading it in. And this is why I have a problem with text. So yeah, so I took that as a fine. Okay, I'm going to step right the fuck back. I left his server. I unfriended him, and because I knew that as soon as I wake up the next morning, that my first thing would be to message him. I knew that for a fact. I knew that he didn't want that. I knew that that would be bad. So I unfriended him so that I didn't have, because we didn't share any servers, so we couldn't talk. I would be automatically blocked by the Clyde bot, whatever the bot that says that you're blocked. That thing, if I tried to message him in the morning. And what do we know? I tried to message him in the morning. Automatic. This is a problem as well when you have someone that you talk to every day, and me and Sai would talk to each other every single day, and it was a two-way street with us complaining about what was happening with each of us, and trying to help each other out with talking it out and stuff, and giving our opinions to each other about what's happened and how we could help, and how we could help ourselves. That was very much a two-way street. What do you have on the arm? I had surgery last week, and I had my stitches taken out today. I would take it off, but people might be squeamish, and I probably should leave it on for a few days. Doctor didn't tell me how long, but No, you can't. You cannot. I have checked. And how I checked was I messaged Sai. Yeah, if it doesn't matter whether you've messaged someone before, if you are not sharing anything, or if you are not friends anymore, then you can't message each other. I don't know. For me, I couldn't message him. I have the Clive, but he told me off. Unless you're the person closest to the messages. Then maybe it was a case of both of us. It's a big oof. Regardless, I couldn't message him the next morning. Which was the important bit. Which was the bit that I did to stop me messaging him. I don't know if you unfriended him. I'm not on your computer. Alright, but yeah. Where was I? Yeah, so next morning, I instantly want to message him. I feel awful about the way I acted the day before and have had enough time to think on it. I still feel the way that I was treated was unfairly because of the way that I saw the argument and the way that they saw the argument were two completely different things. Like I said, they had a problem with something that I didn't think that they had a problem with. Miscommunications happened because neither of us talked to each other. So, that's what it boils down to. Not enough communication. So, yeah, I instantly want to message Sai the next morning. I actually made a poem because that is how emotionally driven and creative I was that morning. I couldn't go into work because I was too busy crying and writing this poem, and instantly I tried to message it to Sai. I get the automatic bot message back, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'm giving some space. But what I will do instead is I'll post it on my DeviantArt. And it is completely anonymous. Sai knew very much when he read it that it was about him and me, but he read it completely wrong. I don't know whether I can read through the poem without crying again. Because the last time I tried to read through it, which had been like the 5th time, I've still been crying. Because it's so much raw emotion from me in that poem. It hurts to read it again. But Sai read it in completely the wrong way and got from the poem somehow that I thought that he loved being alone. Which is not something that I say or even imply, at least from my perspective, but clearly it can be taken like that because otherwise he wouldn't have thought it. So he thinks that that's what I think, but doesn't question me about it. I put that out there, and I just keep my conversations in mental health challenge beans, which is where conversation should stay and not leave. And I pressure that again because people not only took stuff out of there, and even the same with my frickin' vent chat canary, the things that are in there stay in that chat. They don't leave that chat. And not only did someone, and I won't say who, and I won't say who I think it is, and I just don't care, and it doesn't matter, but someone not only told Sai about what I was messaging, but they also only selected certain bits of what I said to show or tell him. I don't know why, I don't know whether they just also misinterpreted, which is the most likely thing, is they also misinterpreted what I said. And this is the problem with text. I'm going to say this a lot. This is the problem with text. Miscommunication. Yeah. And I continuously said, and I remember continuously saying, that no one should go message Sai. And that if it was any other person that I'd had an argument with, then sure, you could go message them and ask them for their side of the story. Don't message them to point accusing fingers at them, just ask them for their side. But I know for a fact that Sai is not like that. Sai wanted space, and I wanted to give him that space. And what people did not do was listen to me. At all. Full stop. And even though what I interpreted as their actions towards me and the hurtful words towards me, like, even though that in itself is not very nice, when people were saying mean things about Sai and Loli and Zelda and Lenny, I was defending them. And I was like, no, I'm 99% sure that this is a misunderstanding and things just got out of hand and people just didn't know how to deal with stuff. Remembering the fact that the most of the people on the Discord are still young, they haven't dealt with life that much, and people, and I'm a very hard people to deal with, especially when I'm lit up like a bonfire. But in the same retrospect, I gave Sai a massive way to make me stop. I have the safe word. Everyone on my chat knows the safe word. It basically means stop, take it somewhere else. Take it into DMs, take it into the Canary chat, and that's what the word canary is for. Canary is my safe word. It means stop everything. It doesn't matter how angry you are, doesn't matter how angry I am, canary means stop. And it means take a breather, go somewhere else, just, yeah. If what I had said had affected Sai as much as he says to people that it did, then he should have used the word that I told him to use, that he told other people he didn't think it would stop me. Despite the fact that he didn't try it, I told him specifically to use that word. Oh, errors are occurring. I'm having errors? No? Canary is a bird. Canary is a bird, but canary, the word, is very unlikely to come up in general conversation. I'm gonna refresh my page. I don't know. I am still here. Okay. For some reason, it decided to die for me. Yeah, canary is a bird, but canary is a word that's not gonna come into an argument. You're never gonna yell at someone canary unless you're arguing about a canary. Like, it's just a really bush. This is a word, it's really short, it's really easy to remember. There. So despite the fact that I told Sai previously, because I know what I'm like, I know it, I can be unreasonable. I just really, like, especially if I don't feel like I'm being heard, I am so very much there getting my word in. That is what I do. And yeah, so I gave him the word and I was like, anytime, like, you just want to stop and for me to not get angry at you. Because telling me to stop and calm down, it's like setting a bonfire off. Like with any other person, if you're aggravated and you're annoyed, like someone telling you to stop, only fuels you. This is common sense, general knowledge. Canary is also the name of an island. Yes. So my safe word is... It's a safe word. It's saying stop without saying stop. And when you say it, it means something really bad has happened on your end in the conversation. It basically means that the other person has gone too far with what they said. But for some reason, and I don't know why, maybe he forgot about it until someone asked him about it when I told them about the safe word that I gave him. I don't know. I'm not Sai. I am Sashy. Hi. So yeah, he says to them that he didn't use it because he didn't think that I would stop. Even though I told him that is like the only way to make me stop. But regardless, so that happened. I made a poem. I don't know if I can read the poem without crying. So I'm not going to read the poem to you. If you want to read the poem, it is on my DeviantArt. And you're welcome to go look it up on DeviantArt. And read through it. But he read it a whole lot differently to the way that I wrote it. Which caused him to be annoyed and frustrated with me, causing more misunderstanding, and on top of that, for some reason, people were ignoring me and were messaging him about it. It's time to stop .mp3. Now, I know we all think we have amazing negotiation skills. And, like, I really do appreciate, like, don't get me wrong, I hella appreciate people that do want to find out both sides to come to their own conclusion, and that is 100% what you should do every single time. But you also have to understand that a person getting a ton of messages from other people that also think the same as you will piss them off. And I didn't know that this was going on at the time. So, from my perspective, I had left Sai alone. I'd made a poem because if I didn't make a poem, I was going to do something else, which was not going to be good. So I did that, and I'd left it at that. I left it until the next day when I actually wrote out a whole message to him on DeviantArt, apologizing and also going through all the things that I found unfair. Not to start an argument, but to try and get him to understand why I was feeling and reacting the way that I was. And I was fully expecting him to send me the same thing back, like, but with his points about what he didn't like about my reaction and what I've said. I have a word for those type of people. Look. Yeah. So I wrote out a full thing, and it's something that we've done before, so I didn't think anything of it. I just was like, okay, I know that this is the next step in, like, working through things and becoming friends again, so... He's still got Minecraft. That's fair. That's the next step in repairing what we just broken, and I'll do it, and I messaged the message, just read when you're ready, and literally just listed the bunch of behaviors that he'd done that hurt me and that I didn't like. And at the end, you don't block someone if you want to resolve. Yeah, exactly. Bearing in mind as well is that me and Sai, I considered him my best friend, even close to a brother to me. Like, we talk every single day, and we were quite close, and the stuff that we told each other is stuff that you don't really tell just your normal general friends. So we went from super close to no contact whatsoever, which absolutely killed me, basically. So yeah, so I wrote a list of things that I didn't think much of. When you try and resolve something, nothing works. Yeah, exactly. But you should try first. I wrote down a list. We'd done it before when I've had arguments with other people, and so I was being kind of like a mediator. So I was like, this is the perfect way for us to both just let out our steam and make a list of things that we didn't like what each other done, and then what you meant to do is you swap the lists, you then acknowledge the other person's list, and it's not coming up with an excuse for the way you reacted, but it's basically saying why and then what you're going to do to change it so that you don't react in that way again. And that was fully what I was expecting to happen. Now, because of Sai getting a ton of messages from other people saying that I was upset and saying that I was bitching about him, which I wasn't, on my chat, and feeding him like little bits of information that were not complete and misunderstanding or interpreting what I was saying in the chat, and feeding it to him, he took my message as just another way to try and start an argument, and read the first 2 lines or so and deleted the message. Didn't even get to the part of the message where I acknowledged what I already knew that I did wrong, which was initiate the frickin' fight with like bitchiness of Crimea River and shit. And yeah, and saying things and basically apologizing for my attitude in general. And then also reiterating that I'm super stressed at the moment because of the MRI scan, and I know that he's super stressed at the moment, and that I understand that he needs time, and he can take this time, collect himself, and then come back to me with his list of things that he's unhappy about with me. But he didn't get to that bit. He read the first 2 lines or so, decided that I was trying to start an argument again, and deleted the personal message. I see that, I don't know this, I see it as a read message, so I'm like, okay, so he's read the message, he's now calmed down enough to read it, because I titled it, only read it when you're ready. There was no pressure to read it, there was nothing. So for me, the message was read, okay, now I just give him time. And again, I stepped back. It still hurt me, and I still talked about people about how much I missed talking to him, because I talked to him every day. Like every day that we were awake, we basically talked to each other. That's not something that's so easy to go from, like, basically 100% communication to nothing. Like, so for me it still really hurt, and so I confided in people that I thought I could trust, and I thought I could keep the way that I was feeling about stuff to myself and the people that would listen, and that was that. While this was happening, people were still not listening to me and still going to Sai. With good intention, and I think someone also, I'm not sure, at some point someone with bad intention went to Sai, which I completely am utterly against, and said that they were going to make all of Sai's friends hate him. I don't know who that person is, you don't have to tell me who you are, but by fuck, if you do that again, and I find out who you are, I'm gonna slap a bitch sideways. You do not do that. I don't care how nasty someone is to me, or how bad you think their reactions are. Do not. I don't need a white knight. I am perfectly capable of defending myself, and don't do that to someone or threaten to do that to someone. Threaten to frickin' take away their friends. Whoever said that, I hope you fucking feel sorry for it. And you should fucking apologize, but I highly doubt that Sai wants to hear that. But, regardless, that was out of order. I don't care at what point someone said that within this drama thing that happened. No. So yeah, people were still messaging Sai, even though I told them not to. Which was annoying Sai. Which made Sai feel like I wasn't letting anything go, and I was still just trying to argue, and even apparently trying, because of what he was hearing and stuff, and the way people were telling him things, that I was trying to smear his name. Which I'm not sure how saying the way I feel about something smears someone's name, but that's how... This is why he said, she said is bullshit. And you shouldn't do it. Don't do it. Don't be a messenger. Even if you think you're a good messenger, don't do it. Just... So, he was still getting the messages. From my point of view, I thought that he was just left alone. I was left alone every single day. He's a like. Every single day I was crying because of how much it had affected me, and I was in voice chat in the mental health challenge beans pretty much every single day from then, and just completely and utterly distraught by not only what I did, but what Sai had said to me, that he doesn't understand currently why it affected me, what he said so much. Yeah, I think I got that right. Maybe. We'll see. So yeah, yes. So from my point of view, I left him alone, I gave him some space, and then 3 days passed with nothing, and I did 3 days from him reading my DV, according to me, because that's all I see, is the red message. 3 days from there, still nothing, and I know that he's had people before that he's not got along with, and something happened, and the only time that he talks to them is through Patreon rewards, because he has to. And every time that he does have to talk to them, he will bitch about it to someone. And that someone was usually me. So because I knew that, and I did not want that to happen to me, I didn't want what was a freaking close-ass friendship to just turn into a business freaking relationship. I did not want that to happen at all. So I then sent him another message on DeviantArt, which was less than kind than my first message to him, and said, if you are going to leave it until the point where you have to talk to me because of Patreon rewards, then you'll lose me as both a friend and a patron. Okay, so let me explain to you the people that I patron to. I don't patron to them because I think their art is good. I patron to them because I feel like I want to help make them better. I want to help them do what they do. I want to help them do what they love doing. So, me being a patron to Sai was not because I thought Sai's art was good and worth being a patron to. It was because we were friends, I knew he needed money, and I liked his art, and I wanted more of his art, and that was the one way that I could help him. But when I become not a friend, that me supporting you doesn't happen anymore. You don't get my support once you say nasty things about me. You don't, and I would expect the same from anyone that supports me. And I would actually enforce and encourage to people to stop supporting me if that's the way you feel about it. If it is a chore to talk to me, if you feel the need to bitch about me to someone else whenever we have a conversation, stop the support, please. I don't want fake people in my life. I've had enough fake people in my life, and I don't want any more. So, yeah. So that would be what I would want, because I don't want to end up having to talk to people that I've had an argument with. I don't care how much a patron. If you want to patron me $100 a month and then have a huge argument with me, there is no way that we're continuing this business relationship. I'm sorry, but no. Because it's not gonna be, it's gonna be just awful for everyone. I don't understand what you say, but sorry. So yeah, there's no, I don't care how much money you are supporting me with. If we have an argument, please just, even if it's just for a month, stop the support. Give yourself and me some time. Like, yeah. Sashy, your fandom is full of OCs, aren't those fake? No, OCs are completely different to someone giving you money in hopes to talk to you. Which is, I know, what some people that have patroned to side do, because I complained to me about it a lot, or did, once upon a time. So yeah, I'd just rather not, like, just no. And I would, like, honestly, if I had arguments with any of my patrons, I would honest to God say, please stop supporting me until this is sorted out. And if it doesn't sort out, then it's not sorted out and you need to support someone else, because this isn't working out. Yes, Cactus is trying to make a joke. Fight me. So, yeah, so I wrote that message to Sai. That only makes Sai. Sai only reads again the first line or so of it and deletes it, so it comes up as read in my thing. So I see that he's read it, and for me that means he's read all of what I've said, not just read the first line and deleted it. So for me at this point, he's read what I've had to say and has decided, I will fight you. I will fight you. I will win. He's read what I've had to say and has decided that I'm not worth talking to about it, or worth even trying to reconciliate. Then he messages someone that was trying to help, which again I told people not to. He messages someone that was trying to help, saying that he never wants to talk to me again, and that I only want to fight, I only care about myself in this, and if I want to fight, then I will just do it by myself. And that message got shown to me. Now, for me, I've already apologized. I've already given him my part of what would be a reconciliation, And I've told him, I've given him a deadline to do it by, because I'd already given him, from my perspective, space to think over and come to his own conclusions. That breaks me, and I have a panic attack in VC, and this is where Skip gets involved. Before then, I was hiding it from Skip because I know Skip can get very, 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 very protective of me. And the same as I'm very, very, very protective of him. Only difference being is Skip doesn't care about the person that hurts me, whereas I will still care about the person that hurts him. Which I had a panic attack. Skip's introduced to this whole mess by me having a panic attack and managing to only get out half fucking sentences because I'm having a panic attack. And that's what they do, and you can't talk. And basically all Skip gets is that Sai's upset me, he's been ignoring me for a few days, I've already apologized, and that's about it. And it's over something stupid. And that's all Skip's got. So I get off VC, Skip cuddles me in bed, waits till I fall asleep. Messages Sai. Very, very, very childish, poorly written fucking messages. Of just messages that are purely there to insult and hopefully hurt Sai in the same way that he hurt me. They were stupid. They were disgusting, quite frankly. 100%. And I'm sleeping at this point. Don't know this is going on. I already told him not to message Sai. At least I'm pretty sure that I did in my fumbling of panic attack. But, you know, panic attack and communication is not a thing. Oof, I've seen this message. Exactly. Few people have been shown that message. It wasn't there to do anything but hurt Sai. That is the sole point of that message, was to hurt Sai. That's it. There was nothing else to it. I can approve that it was immature. Indeed. So, I then get very lovely paragraphs from Lawley on both my DeviantArt and my Instagram. I don't have Tumblr anymore. My Instagram, saying how I need to stop sending people to attack Sai, how this is super stressful on Sai, how it's absolutely disgusting what I'm talking about him to other people, and I'm very, very, very confused. So I ask more about it and find out that Skip messaged Sai, and I question Skip about it, and I'm just like, I told you not to. Why would you do this? Me and Skip have not a massive argument about it, but I do frickin' shout at him, and he shouts back, and yeah, it's not very nice. And I'm still, through all of this, frickin' defending Sai. God, I hate that about me sometimes. So I tell Loli that, again, like, me trying to explain what's happening my side, for some reason Loli continuously read it as me being sarcastic, and I continuously bring up in the conversation that both me and Sai are hurt, and both of us have reacted badly, and both of us need time, and both of us, all I get back from Lolly is sigh this, sigh that, sigh this, sigh that, Sai's been put in hospital, are you proud, I hope you're happy, blah blah blah, this is what you wanted, Sashy is evil, rah rah rah. No. So I then invite them to have a VC with me in Discord, because text is bad for communication. Should put a counter on the video, see how many times I say that. So, I then go, we figure out a time when we're going to VC together, and I VC Florley. And I end up obviously crying in the VC because of some of the things that I recall that Sai has said, and the things that I've written, like my poem, and so on and so forth, and trying to give my side of things. I don't know how, or maybe either I'm immature, yes. Either she thought for some reason that I was making it up and lying and just putting it on, or she just completely and utterly misinterpreted a huge chunk of what I said, and then obviously fed that information back to Sai. Somehow in that, she thought I was comparing Sai to an abuser. I don't know how, because usually when you talk with someone, it's a lot easier to understand. Maybe she wasn't listening to me, or just, I don't know. I just really don't. But somehow, I don't know. I don't know how. I just don't know. Somehow, that was there. A wizard did it. Indeed. Somehow that was in there, as well as that I helped someone else's team in the tournament do a challenge, and apparently that classes as cheating, even though I had helped before in a challenge and was encouraged to get the help. But by this point, logic's gone out the window, and people are just trying to one-up each other with how to hurt each other. I don't know. Also by this point, Sai's publicly announced on his server his view on what happened, which is completely different from the way that I viewed it. And says things along the lines of, I do nothing but bitch to him all the time. Which, if that were true, then I would be the one always complaining when he's done a large fair share of complaining to me about life in general. But yeah, anything good that I've done for him, that didn't happen. And only bad stuff happened when me and him talked. And he said that I've been trying to deface his name, drag his name in the dirt, that I'm an awful manipulative person, and stuff like that. Now, bearing in mind that throughout all of this, anytime someone has insulted Sai, or even Lolly and Lenny and Zelda for whatever they did, I've been defending them. And when someone said, that's a dick move, they're being a dick, you should just block and ignore them, I've gone, no, there's a misunderstanding here, They just don't understand because they're angry, and that's all fine and well good. That, me defending them, has not got to Sai at all, full stop. So Sai just gets these half messages thinking that he's written essentially the same as what I've written about him in my chat, which is completely different. It's just so... Everything that he said in it would have been solved with a conversation with yours truly. Literally. This should have just stuck between me and Sai. And I don't know why some people felt the need to involve themselves in it, and they really shouldn't have. And I get that people want to help, but that's not... If you want to help, ask how to help. Don't do things on impulse. Impulse is not good. Don't do the impulse. Don't do a Sashy. So yeah. Ugh. So yeah. I then decided at that point, fine, whatever, I will just leave it. He clearly doesn't want to be friends with me. I don't care anymore. I will just, if that's what he really thinks of me, that all I do is complain, and I've never done anything for him, and I've never listened to any of his problems, I've never tried to help him at all, then that's the way he sees things, and I can't do anything to change it. Oh well, time to move on. So I am, at that point, prepared to just leave it. If Sai wanted to message me and talk to me and try and have a conversation, then I would be open to it. But if he didn't, then I wasn't going to waste any more of my time and energy wishing that he would talk to me. And that was it for me. Until he posts a picture that I commissioned of him. He posted a picture that he put his commission price down and you could pay with DeviantArt points, and he did a commission for me. And in that commission, he tagged me in it on DeviantArt and just posted it for me like everything was normal and everything was fine, when it clearly wasn't. And by this point, he hadn't spoken to me for a week or 2 weeks or something like that. And I was pretty pissed that he was using art that I'd commissioned and paid for from him to gain popularity and stuff. Sashy, check the end. Wizard did it. So, yeah, where was I? Yeah, so I was pretty pissed that he posted that without even talking to me. Like, for me, not one moment has passed where his mind's gone, maybe I should actually chat to Sashy and have a conversation. So, for me, it was kind of like I don't care about you, but I will most certainly try and make, get favorites and get likes and get popularity from you. He'd also paid me some DeviantArt points to be able to get that commission from him, and I was on my way to paying him back for it. Ultimatum to Sai. I'm confused. So I was pretty pissed. I told him that how dare he post something that I've commissioned from him without even speaking to me about anything at all. Even just saying, I need more time, please give me more time, would have been enough. Anything. Some form of communication. Just... that's all I needed. all I needed was some form of communication, and I got absolutely nothing. I got Chinese whispers from other people, which is not nice, and I hate playing that game. And it's an awful game. It's an awful game. So yeah, I then get talked down by Skirt, saying, well, it's not that much that you paid for it. 2, it was paid through DeviantArt points. 3, he gave you some points to be able to buy the commission at the time that he was doing the sale. And I was like, okay, fair enough. Fine, for this, I'll let it go. Like, it's not that big a deal. It's just, I think it was just a sketch or just a line art. I think it was just a sketch. Or line art. I can't remember. I honestly can't. And it didn't really matter. But I knew for a fact that I'd commissioned him to do a comic. And I'd even said that, okay, I'll let him have this, but he needs to not post my comic, because he knows full well that I want to voice dub it, and we had planned together that we were going to release them at the same time. There was no date, there was no deadline. The deadline actually was after the whole tournament, and then we were going to come up with one, but obviously that didn't happen because a fight happened between that. Sai says that for some reason we'd made a date when we hadn't. I don't know where he got that from or why he said that. Maybe to cover his own ass. I don't know. I don't know what goes on through his head. I only know what goes on through mine. Tournament. Yes, there was a tournament on Sai's chat, which is what started all this bullshit. So, guaranteed. Then, because I messaged him how dare he post my art, he blocked me on DeviantArt. Fun. So, a few days later, I find out that he posted my comic that I commissioned, that I'd paid in total 180 euros for an adopt character, as well as a comic. And the adopt came to $110, which I'm not sure what the conversion rate is, but it's something like 80 or 90 euros. And then the rest was paid for the comic. One page of the comic I get for free because that's part of the adopt deal. You get a full picture of that character. That's all well and good. And the other 2 comic pages I paid full price for. So I paid an awful large amount of money, especially when I didn't really have any money, but I wanted Sai to feel better because Sai doesn't have a laptop. His laptop's broken. And I want him to be able to buy a new one, and as soon as I had any sort of, like, money that I could give him, I usually commissioned him. If you notice, I'd had an awful lot of commissions from Sai. And the thing for making the clothes? What? No. I don't know what you're talking about. But, yeah. Me, by this point, is very, very angry, and I message him on all the places that he had posted that, where I could message him. So everywhere, that's Sashy Sam. Oh, yeah, that's my challenges. That's got nothing to do with Size. Size was on Size chat. Sai had a tournament where, like, you had 3 different teams, and you had team challenges. My challenges are something else. So, no worries. Cool. We'll clear. So yeah, post on his Facebook, I post on his YouTube where he also shared it, that he does not have permission to post this, and that if anyone that is thinking of commissioning Sai should rethink that, because nearly 200 euros is not enough for him to keep it secret for a while if it's something that's a surprise. He deletes my comments off there. Every single post that I make on his thing, he deletes. Doesn't message me. Doesn't confront me at all. So I then make, hello. It is
closed.
because it was very cold earlier. No. Yep. It is now, but it was cold earlier. Because it's raining and I was wet.
What's Nami's?
I don't know yet. I haven't looked.
Hungry.
Then make food.
Hungry.
Yeah. Off
I've
you go
got
then.
to play well now. You've been awful, don't you? Could do something.
I've been to the doctors and then to my heart lesson.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so that was all of 2 hours out of 8.
No. It took me 2 hours fucking waiting in the waiting room to be seen by the fucking doctor.
So, okay, nothing.
Sure. Hi Skip. People say hi.
Hi. Tell her to go cook food.
After I finish, I'll think about it.
Oh.
Just have headphones on. Shh. You do that. Mm-hmm. So, where was I? Yeah, so I made a journal about it on DeviantArt. Basically saying how I saw things and how, again, 200 euros, nearly 200 euros is not enough for him to keep it secret, and so on and so forth, blah blah blah, and I instantly get attacked by his army of people. Initially it's just Lenny and Lolly, and then some other of his friends decide to join in, and then the conversation happened. Indeed. Chun chun chun. Yes. And here's the thing. Nothing what I did was illegal, which for some reason they thought that I thought it was. Not once did I say that it was illegal. It is, however, morally wrong, especially when he knew how much it meant to me. And he did know how much it meant to me, and no doubt in my mind would he have had a conversation with either Lenny or Lolly or both about whether he should post it or not. So yeah. That was the only time Sai unblocked me and had a conversation out in the open with me, which again just reiterated that he's not done anything illegal because it's all in his terms and conditions, which I don't see because all his terms and conditions are on Tumblr, which I am no longer on, and apparently he made it clear from the start that to have something not posted costs more money, but I don't recall that conversation. But we can go back and forth what was said and what wasn't said, and it doesn't really matter at the end of it. At the end of the day, I still found it unfair, and I agree with him. He's not done anything illegal, but he did do something morally wrong. Several things morally wrong, same as me. Conversation then ends with him just telling me that I'm a narcissist and posting a video that was oh so nicely explaining what a narcissist is. Yay. How thoughtful.
Call him to have a fire.
Wants to go cool. No, Skip. No, can we just not? Just... So yeah. He also then says that 2 other people that he's been thinking of getting a lawyer because of the amount of people from me apparently getting sent to him to attack him, which I have not done at all, and I've been verbally saying for people not to do at all. So yeah, so he's getting harassed. What?
Some people get a lawyer and cost him money for no fucking therapist.
No, Skip, you don't understand. Grow up. Don't care. So Sai is getting harassed. And the one person that he hasn't told me that he's getting harassed is me. So I don't know that he's getting harassed. That's fun. And then a few days later, I get people following me that are friends of his after I've blocked him because I knew he didn't want to talk to me anymore. That was pretty fucking clear. He was just waiting to be able to block me again. Because DeviantArt has a 24-hour waiting before you can block the same person again, I think. It's something like that. You have to wait a while. And basically, calling me a narcissist was the end of the conversation for him. That's all I was to him, and that's that. And no regard to how I was feeling. Wonderful. Because for some reason he saw no regard from me for his feelings. But we won't get into that, because this is a whole load of bollocks. And it's a whole load of miscommunication. And communication fail! It's the highest fucking degree. Then, yeah. So for the last few days and week or so after then, I've been having Sai's close friends and friends of Sai's that haven't followed me before on DeviantArt following me. For no doubt doing, oh my god, look what Sashy posted about you next. I also had Anya come to me and say that she's heard Sai's side, wants to hear my side. I tell her my side. I have a lot of days where I'm crying again because it's all brought up again, and I then come to the decision that it's not worth it. Anya comes to the conclusion that everyone else came to like weeks ago, which was both of us should apologize to each other because it's a big fuck up, it's a big miscommunication, and I said I've apologized 3 times, which I have sincerely apologized 3 times, and had each and every one of my apologies deleted. So for me to apologize again, I'm going to need Sai to apologize first. Sai comes back with basically no, and doesn't think that he needs to apologize for anything at all, and that everything that he's done has been simply a reaction to me, to something that I've done, rather than him doing something. So, again, more misunderstanding. I then come to the conclusion that I just don't care, and I end up deleting the journal, the original journal that I made about what happened. Oh, also in that, Sai gave me back the money I'd paid for the comic and the adopt, despite the fact that I said no to wanting the money back, and that all I wanted was an apology. But apparently, an apology is worth more than 180 euros. So I'm not sure where the maths comes in for that, but anyway.
Okay, stop that with the tape measure.
So,
If you keep doing that, you're going to break the tape.
I fiddle with things. So yeah. And I've just had I've had a massive like decline in watches on DeviantArt, and then the watches that I am getting on it, people that are friends with Sai, and like not even people that I've really spoken to before. And I've just had enough of people spying on me and doing this whole he said, she said whisper. So I posted on my DeviantArt a journal just being like, I've had enough, you win, I'm off DeviantArt now. So I'm off DeviantArt now. If you want to see my art, come to my Discord, that's where you'll see it. I'm so tired. Just don't care. The apology costs €1 million. I still think Sai would rather pay €1 million than say sorry. But, oh well. But yeah, that's kind of what happened. And I think even by this point, like it's been so long, if he did apologize to me, I don't know whether I would accept it or not, in honesty. Because he's said several times that he firstly doesn't need to apologize, and secondly hasn't done anything wrong. So, yeah, that happened. So yeah, that's what happened between me and Sai. And like I said, please, for the love of God, do not message him, do not go to him, do not go, oh my god, look what Sashy posted about you on YouTube. This is just so people know. Unlike Sai, I like people to know where I stand, and what I'm thinking, and how I'm feeling. Since then, things have been going great. Like, I had my results back, I had the results back from the MRI scan, but I had a professional neurologist look at it and do some other tests. I'm up for hugs if you need them. Yay, all the hugs. So, and there's nothing wrong with my brain, so that's great. There's also, I had my implant out, which is just so good. So good. The doctors have found that I have a thyroid problem, which leads to heightened emotions, which explains a lot. And I'm on medication for that now as well. And yeah, and I'm feeling good. I'm gonna go by now. No worries. I'm slowly wrapping this up as it is. So yeah. Yeah, I feel generally good. With this whole side business, I said what I needed to say. If he's read it wrong, I can't change that. Would we ever be friends again? I don't know whether I'd be able to trust him, in honesty. Just, yeah. Like I said, I don't even know if I would accept an apology from him at this rate, because he's been told so many times by different people why I'm upset, and has just gone, oh, well, Sashy deserves it because she did the X, Y, and Z. Basically. Not once have I said that he's deserved any of the shit that he's had through this. And I still don't think that he deserved any of the shit that he's had through this. So, you are a different person to me. Mm-hmm. And you are a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Some people.
No, Skip, just shh, you're not having the skin. You're just not. I'm not. Nope. I refuse. Sasha putting her foot down. But yeah, things been going great. I've actually, I got into my course. I still need to sign up for my course. I'm hopefully gonna sort that out tomorrow. I've started doing harp lessons, which are fucking amazing. I love playing the harp. It's such a nice instrument. Sasha refuses, everyone refuses. Indeed. Very much so. So yeah. Like I said, I just wanted to make a video just to get all of my kind of collective thoughts into one place. update you guys on where I stand with things. I would very, very, very much like it if people would not talk to me about Sai or what he's doing, and the same vice versa. And I'd also, what people were doing before was saying that they were busy doing stuff on his chat. Like, oh, I can't come into your VC because I'm in Sai's VC. Like, please don't do that. Like, if you're busy, that's fine. Just say you're busy. You don't have to tell me that you're in Sai's VC and that's the reason you can't come into mine. Just say you're busy, or just don't message when I ask if people are around. And I expect the same the other way around. If you were in my VC and Sai was like, hey, you want a VC? I really don't expect, like, please do not say, nah, sorry, I'm talking to Sashy. It's just such a kick in the teeth for either one of us. Just don't. It's just not worth it. It's surely not. Neither of us like it. It helps no one. But yeah. I don't hold any resentment to Sai. I don't. I just have nothing. I just feel good because I have other stuff in my life that is good. So yeah. Just shush. I will do the shush. I have talked solidly for nearly 2 hours. So I should do the shush. I should eat because I haven't eaten since. I'm hungry. Since breakfast, I think. Skip sighing. But anyway, I'm hungry. I'm gonna head off, and yes. Thank you for listening. Please don't play Messenger. Like, yeah. Just don't. Don't hate on anyone. No killing, no dying. Be excellent. And I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Bye bye.